Well, welcome everybody. My name is Dr. Kara Anthony. I'm a professor in the theology department, and I'm also the co-chair for implementing the new curriculum that is coming to St. Thomas, and that is available to you all. So thanks for coming today. How many folks heard about the session like this that happened last night? Did folks hear about it there? Just curious, because I told everyone leaving this session last night to tell their classmates to come today. So welcome, and I want to just give you a little introduction to what we're going to look at in the next hour. And so first, I'm going to give you a little overview of what the new curriculum looks like, how it's a little bit different from the current curriculum. Then I'll show you a few things about how the new curriculum may be a good fit for you, and a little bit about the timelines for making a decision about that, because you do have a choice about which curriculum to be on. And then we'll talk a little bit about the first year experience, because if you wish to move into the new curriculum, you should be doing a first year experience this year. And we'll talk about opportunities for that. And then there'll be plenty of time for question and answer. So that's just a little overview of what we're going to get to in the next hour. So, what is this new curriculum? Up on the screen, you see that the curriculum has three major parts. Your majors do not change with this new curriculum. So that red portion of the chart, we're not even going to talk about. That stays the same. The core curriculum is where major changes have happened for this new curriculum. The new curriculum has a number of components in it. Some of those are the same as what you're on now, and some of them are a little bit different. So let's go through these step by step. The new curriculum offers you a first year experience. The faculty have created a set of experiences in two courses that give you tons of tools for college success, for adulting, for moving forward in your studies and in your future career, and as well as opportunities for seeing how your college studies connect across disciplines. And together, those make a first-year experience that also connects you to your classmates and give you a powerful start to your time at St. Thomas. So that is part of this new curriculum, is that first-year experience. Core area courses. How many of you are taking this semester something like an English class or a philosophy class or a theology class? Those are in your core, right? Those are, no matter what major you are, you take those courses, right? This core is this new one is a little bit smaller than the one that you're on now. And it has more options of how to complete it. So those are the core area courses in things like language and math and science and English and philosophy and theology and things like that. Then there are core flagged courses. How many people here are in something like a writing intensive or a writing to learn class, where writing is a big part of the class? Great. So you know that when you take a writing across the curriculum class, you don't have to take an extra course to complete it. It's just like tagged on to a course you're already taking. So in the new curriculum, there are also these kinds of courses. And not only are there some in writing across the curriculum, but you'll take a couple of courses either in the core or in your major that also have expose you to global perspectives and diversity, inclusion, and social justice. And finally, towards the end of your studies, the new curriculum calls for a capstone experience. Again, this is a place for you to draw together everything that you've learned at St. Thomas in an interdisciplinary way and showcase it in a portfolio that demonstrates the work that you've done and what you've achieved. So that is the core. We'll go into that a little bit deeper in a minute. This third part down here, the enhanced curriculum experience, These are courses that you do not have to complete for the core and are outside the strict parameters of your major. This is a place where you can kind of play around a little bit. So for people in majors that have a lot of additional requirements, we call them allied requirements. How many people here are like in a business or engineering major? Yeah. So in your majors, you have requirements within the major, but then you might have to take a specific math class or a specific stats class or something that's not technically part of your major, but you have to take it anyway. This is a place where those allied requirements can be completed. It's also a place where you can complete a second major, including a major in liberal studies. You can complete a minor or minors. You can select a set of courses that pursues an interest that you have, maybe across disciplines. Like say you're really interested in wind power in its social, engineering, and scientific dimensions, and you wanted to create a course of classes that did that. You could create that yourself. And this can also be a set of exploratory electives. That is a great thing for anyone who's saying, you know, I have a lot of interests. I'm not sure which one's going to be my major yet. I'm going to try a bunch of them, right? So in this new curriculum, the core is a little bit smaller, and it gives you a little bit more freedom to explore. And for students who have very heavy majors like engineers, you can finish on time, right? So that's just an overview of this new curriculum. We'll get into some details in the next slide. So what are the big differences between the curriculum you're on now and the new one? It is the new curriculum is ever so slightly smaller. It's 129 credits minimum for graduation. The core is about 7 credits smaller in the new one. The new core has fewer requirements that you have to complete in very specific areas. So for example, right now on the curriculum that you're on, you're required to complete 3 theology classes and 2 philosophy classes, right? On the new curriculum, you are required to complete 1 theology, 1 philosophy, and 1 of either or. So there's a little bit more flexibility there, and it's smaller. Instead of having specific courses that you must take, you can choose courses from a wider ranges of subject areas to complete that core. So there's a new category called Integrations in the Humanities, where instead of taking only philosophy and theology, you could say, I would like to take a class in American culture and difference. And that will count to complete your core. So you have more options. And the new curriculum allows you to take more classes in your major or to explore other subjects. So it just has a little bit more flexibility built into the whole thing. So just as a reminder, both curricula are great. You're not required to switch. You'll get an excellent education either way. Here's the thing. Whichever one you pick, you have to complete the whole thing. It's not like a menu where you pick a little bit from each. You have to complete one of them in total. So is the new curriculum a good fit for you? A lot of it depends on when you plan to graduate. So how many folks here are planning on graduating on time in May 2023? Right. For you, this new curriculum is a very good fit. We will have all the courses ready for you when you need them. Is anyone thinking about graduating a semester or year earlier, say in December 2022 or May 2022? Anyone maybe head in that direction? In that case, you'd have to look much more closely. If you're planning on graduating a semester early, the courses may be available for you. You may have to be ready to stretch your schedule a little bit to get that one class you need in at the time that it's available, kind of thing. And if you're graduating 1 year early, stay on the current curriculum. We just don't know that we'll have enough sections of courses to accommodate you. So, you have choices. There's 2 paths that you can take. The current curriculum may be your best choice if you have a lot of college credits and are almost done with your core courses. So it's fairly common for folks in your class to come in with, say, a whole bunch of PSEO credits or AP credits. And so if you are someone who has come in with 40 or 50 or 60 credits, it may be best for you to stay on the current curriculum because you may be almost already done with your core. So if you've got your English done, if you've got your social science done, if you've got your math done, if it's all done by the time you got here, you may be best off staying on this current curriculum. You can choose the new curriculum if you still have a lot of core courses to complete. So if you've just got a couple of those core courses done before you got here, or if you are starting with no college credits, the new curriculum is a great fit for you. So when are we asking you to make a decision? Even if you are not sure yet and you think you might want to join the new curriculum, go ahead and complete the first year experience this year. For most students, that means being on campus for J-term, this J-term. If you are not sure if you want to join the new curriculum, we recommend that you go ahead and complete the first year experience because it keeps your options open. You really should be completing that first year experience in your first year. So the best way to keep your options open if you're not sure right now is to go ahead and take that first year experience. Even if you decide to stay on your current curriculum, those are credits towards graduation. So let's talk a little bit about this first year experience. It's designed to give you a foundation to help you succeed at St. Thomas. It's a 2-part thing. There's a 1-credit course called Foundations of College Success, lots of life skills, lots of practical ways of engaging with what it means to be a Tommy. And then there's a learning community requirement. So I'll talk about each of those in succession. What is this Foundations for College Success 1-credit pass-fail course? So you can see that it's a pass-fail, it's a discussion, seminar, experiential piece that covers things like engaging on campus, health and well-being, how to succeed academically, watching your money, understanding how money works, your career, a sense of vocation and calling, sustainability, connecting across global and cultural lines, and developing spirituality. Everyone who wants to join the new curriculum has to take this 1-credit piece. The other piece is a learning community. And the class that comes after you is going to do this in a slightly different way. What we've designed to enable you to step into the new curriculum is a 2-credit course called Change Making for the Common Good. And during J-term, there will also be just a couple of sections, I think, of like neuroscience and a couple of other courses that will also be part of this change-making theme. This is a chance to see what it means to be a change maker across curricula. Have people heard that word since you came to St. Thomas? Have you heard of that St. Thomas is an Ashoka change maker university? Okay, so we're taking that theme and making that into a 2-credit experience for you to see how this theme connects across disciplines. And so it's an interdisciplinary 2-credit course in J-term. And it addresses issues like food insecurity, the opportunity gap, and civic engagement. So this also will be offered during J-term. Are there folks here who are currently in a living learning community? Nice. And are there folks here who are in a commuter learning community that has lunch together on Wednesdays? I know there's a few of you, yeah? So if you're in one of those learning communities, you have already completed this part of the first year experience and you don't have to take it. All right. So this first year experience in J-term, let's look at the costs. J-term courses are not covered by most financial aid. They're not wrapped into one of your semesters. But tuition is half price during J-term. So tuition and fees, if you're taking both the 2-credit course and the 1-credit co-curricular piece, is approximately $2,100. If you are living on campus during that time, you're required to have a meal plan. And you can see that the meal plans for J-term range from about $290 to about $460. You want to take this information about the cost of J-term to your families and have a discussion about this before you make any decisions about it. This presentation is being made available to your families right after we complete it with you, so they will be able to look at it too. So when to complete your first year experience? Registration starts in November for J-term and spring. Even if you're on the fence, go ahead and register for J-term to keep your options open. J-term is your best and most reliable opportunity to join the new curriculum. This is what we've been able to prepare for you as your main option to complete the first year experience and join the new curriculum. But what if you can't do J-term? You just can't. There are exceptions. So, a limited number of first-year experience seats will be available in spring for people who need exceptions. And you can see the kinds of reasons why someone may just not be able to do this during J-term. It could be for medical reasons. A person may be completing military service during that time. They might be going on study abroad or on a fieldwork course that takes them out of the Twin Cities for that time, etc. St. Thomas varsity athletes. So if you're a varsity basketball or hockey or swimming and diving athlete, it's going to be really hard for you to do this during J-term because it's the middle of your competitive season. Right? So, and for financial need. So if you are in a situation where you just can't do J-term, but you really want to join the new curriculum, there is this place for exceptions. The reason why we're not offering just unlimited seats in spring is two things. First of all, a first-year experience is best experienced at the beginning, when you can use it during your first year. And the closer we have it to the beginning of your studies, the more impactful it is. And so this is so new that we were not able to offer it in the fall, but J-term is the first opportunity we have to offer it to you. Secondly, we just physically don't have enough classrooms and seats to offer hundreds and hundreds of seats in spring. All our classrooms are full. So we have a limited number of seats in spring for those who really, really need them. So, do you need an exception to take this first year experience in spring 2020? I invite you to take out your phones and grab this QR code so that you have the form to make a request. Even if you're not sure yet, grab the form so you know how to find it. This will all be posted online as well. So if you need an exception to take the first year experience in spring instead of in J-term, you need to fill out this form by October 31st at 5 p.m. At 5 p.m. on October 31st, this form disappears and you can't fill it out anymore. And we will get decisions to those folks who have made a request by November 15th. We're going to accommodate as many people as we possibly can, but we cannot guarantee you a seat in spring. So in terms of hard decision, we're asking for a firm decision from you about which curriculum you plan to graduate on in the spring. We're looking at about an April 1st ask of you. Around April 1st, we'll be asking you which one you need to tell us now, because we need to advise you, right? If we know that you're on one curriculum, we'll advise you one way, and if you're on another curriculum, we'll advise you another way. So come spring, we're going to ask for a firm choice from you about which curriculum you want to be on. And it is possible to switch back again. It's just that might slow you down in your advancing towards your degree. So you don't want to be switching back and forth your whole time here, because it'll just slow you down. It's better to make your choice and stick with it. So this QR code takes you to the information website for y'all that has all the information I just talked about. So this is another one where you definitely want to grab your phone, grab that QR code. You are going to want to reference this sometime in the next couple of months. So I invite you to take out your phone, grab that QR code, so that you know where to find the information about this new curriculum. This is also the page where this presentation will be posted after it's complete. So I'm just going to leave that up there for a moment, because everybody really needs to know where this website is. And if you can grab that, that's going to be really helpful for you. Are the QR codes working for folks in the back? Is your phone reading them? Yeah? Okay. And we're going to be posting all this information in locations where your families can access it too. So there are some web pages at St. Thomas that only people with a St. Thomas address can access, and then there's some that your families can access without a St. Thomas address, and we'll be putting the information there for them as well. So if everyone's got the QR codes that they need, it is time for question and answer. And we have a couple of mics coming around. Are there folks who can help circulate mics? There we go.
Oh, can I? Okay, perfect. Is this on? Okay. I was just curious, so what are meeting times like for the 1 credit course? Because I already am in an LLC, so I don't need to take that. So just that 1 credit course, what are meeting times like during J-term?
The 1 credit meets for 1 hour and 5 minutes, Monday through Friday, except for Martin Luther King holiday. But it doesn't start till January 6th. Yeah. So it meets for 1 hour a day, 5 days a week for 4 weeks. Yeah.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Please.
For like, if we are wanting to study abroad at some point in our, I guess in our time here, would it still work for the new curriculum, like to study abroad for a semester?
Absolutely. That doesn't change at all. In fact, it might make it a tiny bit easier.
Okay.
Yeah.
So going off what he said earlier, so I'm also in an LLC, and I was wondering if it is possible to commute during J-term for the 1 credit class.
Yes.
Okay, and then would we need like just a parking pass just for J-term then? Or?
That is a question that came up yesterday, and it's a great one, and we're following up on it with parking and security.
Okay, awesome.
And I'm going to put on the page that you just grabbed with your QR code, there's a whole list of Q&A. That's going to be one of the things answered in that Q&A this week.
Awesome, thank you so much.
What's the schedule like for the 2 credit course?
The 2 credit course meets 3 times during the week. There's 3 2-hour sessions. 2 of them are more classroom oriented, so it'll meet like on Monday, Wednesday for 2 hours, and then there's a larger 2-hour outside the classroom. All the classes meet together for a 2 hours outside the classroom experience together. So it's a total of 6 hours in person on campus in a given week for the 2 credit course. Yeah.
So what if you can't do, I'm right here. What if you can't do a first year experience during J-term because I'm studying abroad, but what if I can't get into the spring 2020 either?
Tim Lewis, who is our executive or our vice provost for international, he is personally says he will teach it for the students going abroad if he can't get seats anywhere else. He wants everyone who's studying abroad to have the opportunity to do J-term. So
Okay.
I'm taking him at his word that he's going to make sure students who are abroad during J-term have a spot.
During spring.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
So you said there's a capstone requirement for the new curriculum. Is there a current capstone requirement, and what would that be?
That varies from major to major right now. So some majors have designed a capstone for their major. As we move into the new curriculum, what departments are doing is they're taking the capstones that they have, and they're just making sure they align with the new curriculum. So it wouldn't add more. The capstone that you would do in your major is the capstone for the core. It's the same thing. In some cases, majors haven't designed their own capstone, and then there are other courses that a student can take to complete that experience. So for example, an engineering major could take my theology in the environment course and do an engineering project about the environment and do some theological reflection on it, and that's their capstone, even though it's not in their major. So everyone will have access to a capstone, most of which will be in their majors. Does that make sense? Yeah.
You gave a price for the 3 credits altogether. If I just have to take the 1 credit class, do you have a cost for how much that'll be?
Yeah, it's around, so it's 1/3, it's a little, it's about 600 and, it's like 670, something like that. And then there's some J-term fees, which are like $20 here, $30 there. So it adds up to probably about 700. Yeah.
So for the cost of the J-term class, do we have to pay it like directly out of pocket since the financial aid packages don't really cover it, or would we be able to get like a private like, I can't think of the word right now, but like if we applied for a scholarship and it was like didn't have to do with FAFSA or anything, it was from like a private association, would we be able to apply it to that?
I think that would be up to the entity that was supplying the scholarship, right? So I'm not qualified to speak directly to what they would allow.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So for the first year experience, like you have the 1 credit course and the 2 credit course, would you take those at the same time, like over J-term, or take them separately?
You take them at the same time over J-term for a total of 3 credits during
Okay.
J-term.
Thank you.
Is that a lot to ponder for now? If you have further questions, you can always reach out to me personally. This information, if you grab the QR code, you have the website, which has my name on it. Thank you all for your kind attention. Take care.